Let's turn to another psychotic Republican, Lindsey Graham. Anytime there's some sort of conflict, anytime there's a war on the horizon, his spidey senses tingle and it's time to make it worse. Here he is on Fox News the other day on Hannity, doubling down on his tweet about assassinating Vladimir Putin, encouraging the Russians to do so. He's not saying the U.S. should take them out, but I'll explain why that is still incredibly problematic after we hear Senator Graham, the esteemed senator, out.
So, yes, I want the Russian people to take this man out. I don't care if we put him in jail in The Hague or somebody kills him. He needs to go. He's a war criminal. And Senator Schumer called me about an hour ago. I have a resolution that supports the war crimes investigation against Putin in The Hague. He is now on it. I believe I got 90 votes plus in the United States Senate to support an investigation.
How many senators privately?
So that's then they move on, I believe, to something else. But like I saw Chuck Todd was responding to this too, and he said, well, there's an increasing, Lindsey Graham, maybe putting it crudely, basically was the crux of his argument, but that there's an increased understanding that we need to look towards a Julius Ceaser solution for Vladimir Putin in order to end this. Like, are we supposed to just opine openly about assassinating government officials or heads of state because they've engaged in war crimes? I'm old enough to remember that the Biden administration killed over a dozen civilians in Afghanistan in a botched drone strike. That's technically a war crime. Bush is still alive. Bush is still alive. What he did in Iraq and Afghanistan, they're war crimes many times over. How about Dick Cheney? How about Condoleezza Rice? I mean, this was the same conversation we were having when the Trump administration assassinated Soleimani. It's ridiculous. Oh, he's a terrorist. Okay, but he's a government official. We are lucky that the response was not worse by Iran, because it's an act of war. And, Lindsey Graham thinks like, oh, we have some plausible deniability because it's going to be coming from the Russian citizenry in his like fantasy world where he plays armchair general. So Putin gets assassinated. Who do you think gets blamed for that? Like these insane Republican neocons really believe that if you just punch him one time hard enough, it's going to all be over. You think the Russian, the people that surround Putin, he has support in his country. Do you think the citizenry is not going to like see that clip of Lindsey Graham, see the tweet out there and say, this is obvious. Of course, the Americans are behind this in this fantasy world, again, that Lindsey Graham is talking about here. Of course, they have one of their senators, top vocal senators, saying, let's get him assassinated. Let's assassinate him. And then crazy people like Lindsey Graham think that that would just end the war. And in reality, if someone was to take out Putin, I don't doubt that he would probably, or she would have some assurances covertly from the United States or from some intelligence agency in another country that they'd have some protection, because that's really difficult to do. So it's just like so dangerous to keep talking about things in this way. I think the Biden administration's response has been good. Not escalating, not entertaining a no-fly zone, sanctions, etc. I mean, and again, it is, I am deeply concerned about how the sanctions are being offloaded onto the Russian people. I understand that. But I am sympathetic with like his desire to act in this instance and end, sending Ukrainians arms, I think is justifiable here. But like, cable news and war hawks like Graham, that's why they keep having him on. They want action for the sake of action. They are reactive people who think nothing of the bloodshed and the chaos that they will cause. Reaction first. Think about the consequences later. And the arrogance of it gets me too. The one swift blow thing. End the war. Just assassinate Putin. Nut jobs. Nut jobs. With that said, we're going to take a quick break.